Well, right now here on Big Blend Radio, it is time to talk with the Tucson dude, Lance Laber. He is the executive director of DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun in Tucson, Arizona. The Gallery in the Sun is a 10-acre historic landmark. It's nestled in the foothills of the Santa Catalina Mountains. It is a beautiful destination. It opened in the 60s and is home to over 15,000 originals of famous Arizona artist Ted DeGrazia's art pieces, ranging from oil paintings to ceramics, sculptures, and watercolors, all kinds of things, because he liked to create on anything and with anything.
Very diverse.
Very much so. So there's the 6 permanent collections on display, and they rotate exhibits all the time. And also every year, from the fall through to spring, through about the 5th of April 2019 for this year, the little gallery opens to the public on the property. And that is a little gallery opens with all different artists coming from around the country to show their work. So everything is up on the website, DeGrazia.org. And Tucson dude, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, we're excited because we got new exhibits happening. Well, one that is, you've got the Way of the Cross, and also we're going to talk about Desert Blooms, the 2 new exhibits opening February 1st and running through the 4th of September. But I always like to give everyone a little overview of DeGrazia Gallery if they've never been there, especially this time of year. This is when Tucson gets busy with visitors coming in, and so a lot of people come to the gallery as part of their annual thing, during the season. But for people coming out, there's a lot of people that need to still know about Ted DeGrazia. He really is pretty much the most reproduced artist in the world, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The DeGrazia was a first-generation American. His parents were Italian immigrants. He was born in Morenci, Arizona. Went to the University of Arizona, got 3 degrees. He built his gallery, started building it in the foothills of the Catalina Mountains in Tucson in about 1949. He started building. He finished his first buildings by 1952, and then started in 1959. Started building the main gallery, and they finished that big, giant 16,000-foot main gallery in 1965.
Wow. And he did a lot of traveling. He really was known for his Southwestern art, but also painting people and his relationship of the people of the Southwest. And I think that's something really amazing, especially when you look at his paintings. And he does the series. He did a lot on Padre Quino and Cabeza de Vaca and the Papago Indians, too. And the Yaquis,
correct.
Right?
And the Yaqui Indians,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we can't leave them out.
No.
No, it's a good thing. He really was a very prolific artist who never stopped. He never stopped creating his whole life.
And also, Nancy and I are getting back on the road to travel full time on our Love Your Parks tour, where we're going to document every single park we possibly can in the country. And Tucson is massive when it comes to parks. It's insane. We're getting as many as we can done. But you sent us on a story mission. A lot of our friends and partners have sent us on missions to go get specific stories as we travel the country. And you sent us on a mission to go in the footsteps of Ted DeGrazia. So I know we're going to Texas. That's going to have to happen so we can cover Cabeza de Vaca, since he's got a collection of art dedicated to that. But we started ours in the January through March issue of Parks and Travel magazine. And everyone, if you go to nationalparktraveling.com, not only will you see the different exhibits and other features we've done on Ted DeGrazia, but you'll see our first in this story mission, where we went to San Xavier del Bac, the white dove of the desert. And, doing our research, I didn't realize that really was part of that, getting him into that national and regional news, like with the Arizona Highways and other publications, was him sitting outside that beautiful mission and painting it.
That was a place that he loved to go paint, and especially the children. He'd go out there and paint the children. It was very close with the Tohono O'odham Indians, the Papago Indians, and he used to go out there a lot and, find the children, use them as models, and help make his fortune,
Yeah, right. I know, right? And the thing, too, do you think he was also drawn to that because of the connections with Padre Quino?
I'm sure that was all part of it. I mean, it's all part of the whole big story. Sanavir mission. You know, DeGrazia was a religious, spiritual man. I don't think he was a church-going man. He made his own church, and but you know, he was Catholic, and he loved the mission, and he loved the Tohono O'odham Indians, and they were just part of his life, and he would rather spend his time with them than anybody else, which he did.
Mm-hmm. And also, in regards to Padre Kino, the mission, because he built his own mission at the gallery, and people can go there. And right now, you've been going through 2 years of restoration after an unfortunate
about a year and a half,
fire.
right?
Year and a half. And so, do you think by February it's going to be resurrected? Is that the wrong word?
Yeah, we're hoping that by middle or end of February we'll be able to reopen the mission, and everybody who's loved that place for the last 70 years will be able to come back in and start reusing it.
And it's such a beautiful mission where you've got the open at the top where you can see out to the sky, and
right.
You know, you also have the altar in there, but there was also murals inside there. Are they going to be able to be restored?
The murals, we lost probably 80% of the murals from the fire and the resulting putting out of the fire. And what we've done is the construction company, the restoration company that's working on it, actually has re-adhered all the murals that were left. They've gotten behind there and reattached them all to the wall so they don't fall off. So everything is very solid, but there's not very much left. We don't feel that it would be right to repaint anything. There'll be a little touch-up painting done on a couple of the walls, but the murals themselves will be left alone.
Okay,
you know, the fire
sense.
has become part of the history of the mission, and
exactly.
It'll be that way. But, you know, it won't be the same, but it'll still be beautiful, and the company has done a wonderful job restoring it. We had some old photos from Arizona highways back in the early 50s that DeGrazia had, you know, they had taken professional photographs for the magazine, and it was just beautiful in there. So we're going to try to recreate a little bit of the way it was right after he finished building it.
Wow, that's
wow,
amazing.
Cool.
That's awesome. Now, I know that you've got 2 new exhibits coming up again, February 1st through September 4th, 2019. The Way of the Cross is one, and this is the annual showing of Ted DeGrazia's The Way of the Cross. And this is something that you have to do every year, because if you don't, you get complaints.
Yeah, I get yelled at. Actually, I don't let that happen. Every year we put it up at Lent. It used to be a permanent exhibit, but every year we put it up at the start of Lent, and we leave it up through Easter, probably a couple months after Easter. The snowbirds that come in, if it's not up, they certainly let me have it, but I try to avoid that, so we make sure we get it up.
And so the Way of the Cross, it shows the suffering and crucifixion of Christ. Really, that's what the 15 paintings are. But I heard that you also have, do you have like an audio recording with him talking? Is that something people can hear, or you're able to?
DeGrazia recorded a narrative of every painting, and he follows it from the start to the finish of the crucifixion, and it's very interesting. And you know, DeGrazia is a very riveting guy, and listening to him is pretty cool.
We've got that video that you can see when you go to the gallery too, and you see him work and talk about his art. And I think when people go there, that's the first thing they should do, don't you think? Is watch that video?
Yeah, I agree. It certainly makes the place. It makes it a little more it makes more sense. Some of the paintings make more sense when you listen to DeGrazia and hear him talk about how he creates things and how he created the gallery. And the guy was a very special man, very special.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, when we talk about him, we always say he's a Renaissance man, and that he didn't limit himself when it came to creativity. He really didn't limit, and that's part of the joy of going there. Is like, you've got the 10 acres, you've got these beautiful gardens, and in the center courtyard, that beautiful cactus corral, and then when you go there and the flowers are all in bloom, and it's just so tranquil and special. But he was really good in regards to architecture. I mean, building this gallery, it's unique. And I know, when you go in the entrance, those bars, you have to go through the bars. The doors are fashioned after the Yuma Territorial Prison bars, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
and those are beautiful too. DeGrazia just did whatever his heart felt, and if it was metal or ceramic or on canvas, whatever it was, he just kept making stuff.
It's cool.
Yeah, so
because sometimes when you go to a gallery, things are all the same, and you're like, okay, that's that. And you've been there, but with DeGrazia's, you can go back over and over and over again.
You'll see something every single
true.
time, and to revisit paintings that you like too, and just go and see them again. It's like, there's nothing like it. We can look at things on the computer screen, but there's nothing like going there in person.
Right. Well, and it's not just the art. It's the grounds. It's the outside. I mean, it's just as artful as the inside. And
that's because
the
still
the
there.
patio and the courtyard has got prisms hanging all over the place, and
cool.
colors flying all over the outside, and it's a beautiful place.
It really is.
Really
It's colorful, and with the mountains too. I love that part as well, and road runners and quail running around, and I think he had that idea of where when he was building it, that he wanted it to blend in with the landscape, just even the way you see
part of it.
Yeah, that it's part of it, so that you're just kind of floating from one zone to the next.
Just a natural adobe footprint.
Yeah. It's cool, man. I dig it. And also we always talking about the cactus corral. So the Desert Blooms, everyone. This exhibit's February 1st through September 4th, 2019. The Way of the Cross is February 1st through May 22nd, 2019. But Desert Blooms, you've done a few of these before, because he really did like the flowers and the saguaros and the courtyard too.
Yeah, he painted a whole collection of cacti, and we've had this exhibit out once before. It's been about a dozen years, and when we first did it, we did it in the springtime. So we went to the cactus nursery, and we bought a ton of little cactus that were all blooming. So we spread them around the gallery along with the paintings. Unfortunately, it's not springtime now, so the little cactus aren't in bloom, so we can't do it this year. But like that. But it was kind of a neat thing that we did.
Well, I know that it's going to be in bloom soon. I mean, some of our wildflowers are already out. I'm like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be sleeping, but they're like, hey, we had so much rain.
It's February, but or it's January, but it's Tucson weather has gotten so weird that half the plants think it's spring.
So do the doves.
I don't see any cactus at the gallery getting ready to bloom. I'll tell you that.
But I know
Still
this
a little
year
chilly
though,
up there.
Yeah, but I think when you get to March, April, you're going to have like an awesome, and everyone's going to be able to experience that. And Tucson, we're going to have a super wildflower season this year. I mean, it's already happening. Yeah. It's already starting, and I think by end of February, March, it's going to be one of those. We had so much rain and snow.
That's true. It should be beautiful. It should be a really beautiful spring.
Yeah, everyone, get your butts out here. Come
right
check
on.
out the wildflowers. It's one of those years, and the whole Southwest is going to be like that. We interviewed an artist in Death Valley, and she was saying it's going to happen this year because even when she was trying to do night photography, sky photography, she couldn't because of the rain clouds and the fog and the mist. And it's like, Okay, this is this year, everyone. This is the year to come out to the Southwest. I do want to touch on the little gallery list of artists because this goes through April 5th. And coming up January 27th through February 8th, you've got Ken Crook. He's a mixed media. Hasn't he been there before?
Ken is Ken's about a 90-year-old guy, and he just backed out. So Ken there'll be a replacement for Ken, just so you know.
So everyone,
very accomplished artist, but he's just, the guy's 90-some, and it's not going to work out for him.
Well, I've seen his art. You've sent me his links before, and he's awesome. So folks, check out, Google him, Ken Crook. But the other thing I want to give everyone a heads up on, if you go to DeGrazia.org or go on Facebook, DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun, every day there's new postings of photos and taking you back in time, like Throwback Thursdays of Ted DeGrazia. But they do such an awesome job on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook on keeping us all up to date with the different events. So that's the best place to watch through there. But Scott Owen, we chatted with him last year, the both of you, February 10th through 27th. He'll be there. This amazing jewelry maker, a silversmith. He does work with dinosaur bones.
I love it.
Man, he's cool. So this is exciting.
He is, and he is good at what he does.
We have to come out and hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
I still love that interview with the two of you because you were talking about being kids in Tucson and surfing the monsoon storms down
down the storm drain.
I love that. I was like, that's cool. February 24th through March 8th, you have Charlie Burton with group. So it's like a whole group of people all doing mixed media. And
okay, now this is something else that we were talking about before. Charlie Burton is our conservator, and she just passed away last night. So we're still having a show. She was the one who organized this show. So her work will be in the show. Her watercolors. And other artists, everybody's, I think, got one or two paintings that are going to be put in. So anyway, just a shout out to Charlie. She passed away last night, but we love her. And so anyway, that should be a very interesting show.
Special one for sure, and she's done a lot of work. Yeah. Also, Jerry Niedermiller, colored pencils coming through March 10th through 22nd. I love colored pencil art. I want to do it myself. And then Julie Rose and Marianne Rolfe, Mixed Media, that will be March 24th through April 25th. Again, everything's up on DeGrazia.org. And Lance, always so good to chat with you because you're the Tucson dude.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
And we'll see you soon, and we'll keep up with our Love Your Parks tour mission, but I think we'll have to come see you in person and hang out in the gallery for a little bit, and definitely looking forward to seeing the mission back in its full glory. And we're going to play a song here because we always love to do that. We got to play some of the music from the Please Remember Me album. This is Strollin' and Singin', and features Domingo DeGrazia, which is Ted DeGrazia's son, and you can learn more if you go to DeGrazia.org. Thanks so much, Lance.
Thanks, Lance.
Thank you. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Love you too. Take care.
Bye-bye.